Hello again, EDF friends. I wanted to make a detailed breakdown of Mission 11 for DLC Pack 1 for weapon farming, since this is such a good mission and you're going to see a lot of people doing this mission online. So I just want to show you where all the spawns are at, and that way if you have more than one person you can do this very, very quickly. And even with one person you can still do this very quickly, which I'll show here at the end. So let me just show really quickly where the spawns are at first, so you'll know exactly where to look for each of the sides. So there's a front, there's a back, and a left and a right, pretty much. So let me show you here. This is the front side here. Let me show you where they spawn at. They always spawn at the same spot here in the front. So let me go ahead and kill these really quickly first, and then I'll show you exactly where they spawn. Okay, so for the front spawn, they always spawn right here, right where this pile of enemies is at. There's like a back here, but it's not, so you can always hide there in the back if you need to, but the enemies always spawn right here on this little raised area right here. So that's where the front spawn is at. Now let's go to the left spawn here really quickly. The left is upstairs. And this is, of course, I'm going front, left, back, and right based on when you spawn in, where you're looking at. So this is the left when you spawn in at. So they always spawn right here between these two doors here. So you can always stand with your back to the wall there and face outward, and they always spawn right there. Now let's go to the right one. The right one is also upstairs. And this one, they always spawn in the same spot as well. And this is a big area back here, but you don't have to go very far back for the spawn here. So you want to look for this door right here on the ground, and they spawn right, they spawn right here, pretty much right here. So you want to look, so you want to be, right here by the door and facing outward, or of course you can also be facing towards as well, but they're going to be spawning right about here. And then last of all, the bottom spawn. The only one this is a little bit different. This bottom spawn is a little bit different in that there is a door in the back that opens up on one of the spawns, so that's where you have to be a little careful. But there's only two spawns in this hole, and the first one is right here next to this door here in the very back of this tunnel. And then the last spawn, this door opens up, and then two fire guys are going to come out, and then rolly balls will come out that are further in the back, so you can't really get a jump on them too well. So those are where all the spawns are at. Now I'm going to cover what spawns out of each door. So let's go ahead and retreat here a second. So in order, this is what the spawns are. I'm going to have this displayed on the screen when I show out the locations. But the first spawn is front brown spiders. The second spawn is back rolly balls. The next spawn is left side brown spiders, the front silver spiders, and one fire cosmonaut. And then the next spawn after that is right side golds and left side gray ants. And then the last spawn finally is back side rolly balls plus two fire cosmonauts, front side golds with one fire cosmonaut, and right side silver spiders. And also, the next wave always spawns when there's 5 enemies left on the screen, not counting the cosmonauts. So when you see about 5 enemies left on the screen, you want to get ready for the next spawn. So now let's talk about the weapons that you can use for each class to do this very efficiently. Alright, let's talk about weapons here now. For Fencer, Hellflame revolvers with the recoil item is going to be your best item here. As you can see, this is the worst spawn you're going to see, which is a fire cosmonaut and silver spiders. And of course the Hellflame revolvers work great. You just want to make sure to offset one, so shoot one down to half and then shoot them both from then on, and then while one's reloading, the other one will be shooting. Alright, also for Fencer, let's talk about 2 flashing spears. As long as you start firing one, and you can't fire them both at the same time, unfortunately. So fire one until it's about out, and then start firing the other one, and just keep rotating as the other one reloads. And this will work as well, because you want weapons that penetrate through targets, so you can hit all the enemies that spawn, and therefore kill them and keep them from jumping away. So flashing spear also can work. And now let's talk about one last weapon for Fencer, and that would be 2 NC cannons, because these weapons also penetrate through targets, and if you have the recoil item, it makes it pretty easy to just fire. You don't have to fire them actually at the same time, but it doesn't hurt as long as you have enough ammo to kill the targets, because as you'll notice, the enemies spawn over time. They don't just all spawn at one point. So, in conclusion, for weapons for Fencer, I would say the best is his Hellflame revolvers, and second would be NC cannons, and then last would be flashing spears as far as safety-wise. Now let's move on to another class. Now we're a Ranger. The level 58 T4 Stork AE is good because it shoots through targets. So as you can see, I can use this machine gun, and it's strong enough to kill the enemies on Inferno, and it's fine. So that works. And then also for Ranger, let's talk about the Napalm. He has the Napalm ZD. This one is a little tough. Sometimes you'll notice that if you're playing online, especially with more people and there's more damage, or the enemies have more health, then it may not be enough damage to stun them and kill them, but the Napalm is a possibility. And then let's go into the next weapon for Ranger. Oh, sorry, I didn't actually record these. I also recommend the Magma Cannon and the level 54 Volcanic Napalm, the large fireball, and then last of all, 2 shotguns. The reason 2 shotguns is because if you don't have enough ammo for the 1 shotgun to kill them, you can swap to the second one, so you're not caught in a reload to kill them. So, but that does work because it is very strong for Ranger. As far as his best weapon, I would recommend the big Napalm as the safest, then Magma Cannon, shotgun, and then machine gun, and then the little Napalm. Okay, now onto Wing Diver. Wing Diver, I'm going to be using the actually, what am I going to be using here? I'm going to be using the Rapier. Okay, the Rapier. The Rapier, as long as you have a strong enough Rapier or the Phalanx, and you have enough ammo for it to kill them fast enough, it will work, but you want to make sure you have a very strong one if you're going to be using that tactic, because it can be a little bit dangerous. The air-to-surface diffuser is very good for this as well. I really recommend it. So you just throw the grenade right above the spawns where I pointed them out, and as long as you're ready for it, it just absolutely destroys them because of the AoE splash, and it just stuns them. So that's also a very good weapon for Wing Diver, and it reloads relatively fast as well if you have it upgraded. Now let's talk about the next one, which would be the Pulse Machine Gun, level 87. This thing is amazing. It has a 17-meter blast when it's leveled up, and the enemies have no chance and you can kill any spawn with this. Silvers, golds, of course the Fire Cosmonaut will be a problem, but anything that doesn't have that will work out. And of course the DLC Spark Whip, I also recommend this weapon. This weapon's pretty good if it's leveled up, and it can stun lock enemies pretty well. And I like it because it fires fast enough to where they won't have a chance to shoot at you for the most part. It may not work on the harder spawns, such as the silver spiders, but it will work on brown spiders and gray ants, of course. So in conclusion, as far as the safety-wise, I would go with the 87 Pulse Machine Gun first, Stardust Cannon, Air-to-Surface Grenade, DLC Spark Whip, and then Rapier last. The Stardust Cannon, by the way, is amazing. Now on to Air Raider. For Air Raider, I recommend taking the level 88 fire turrets, the level 52 fire turrets, and the Zex launchers. Doesn't matter which one, DLC, non-DLC, and then a depth crawler that has rockets. So you see him placing the fire turrets by that spawn, and then as the enemies spawn behind me here, I will just set those 2 fire turrets off, and it'll stun lock them and kill them. And actually, for Air Raider, I go on to solo this mission. If at on the left spawn, the top left spawn, you can solo this with Air Raider rather, as long as you have your turrets. And there's only 2 traps behind you, so what you can do is you can just have your fire turrets, 52s ready behind you for the 2 traps, and then use your other 2 turrets in front of you all the time, and Zex launchers to push them away. And then also your depth car to push them away. Alright, let's go on to talk about the positive and negatives of each spawn location. So if you go to the top right, you're going to find that enemies get stuck on the front spawn a lot, so that'll be the negative of that. Plus, it is also a wider area to defend, and they're kind of dangerous. If you go to the back behind you, it's the fastest, but there will be a spawn at the very end of rolly balls and 2 fire guys behind you, which can be tough, but you can't be ready for them because the wall opens up. If you go to the left side, it's a little slow, but it is the safest for sure. And if you go to the front, enemies get stuck as well on the left side, I believe, and you also need high DPS because there's 2 fire guys and a silver spawn on that location. So if you want to go the safest, probably the left side, upper left, and then if you want to be the fastest, would be the back behind you. If you have 2 people usually to help, one person cover the back, one person cover the front. But that's my suggestions. Now I'm going to go on to show you how, if you know where the spawns are at, you can do this mission very quickly. And I solo this with Fencer very quickly because of the fact I know where everything's at. So therefore, if you can coordinate with even 2 people, you can kill this. You can destroy this mission very fast. So I'm going to go forward here, and I'm going to kill the brown spiders because I know they're coming here. So I'm going to quickly kill these with one of my flame turrets. And I do have, for the items, I have the recoil item, and then I have the 4 dashes, 4 jumps, so I can get to locations quick. Now I know the rolly balls are coming back behind me, so I'm going to go jump back here and kill these. So far 1 person can do this. So I'll show you where you actually need a 2nd person to make it a little faster. But so far I can solo this. And then once I know once there's 5 rolly balls left, I need to kill. There's a spawn that is to the left of me of brown spiders, and to the front of me with silvers and a fire cosmonaut. So instead I'm going to go to the fire cosmonaut because he's the biggest threat. So I'm going to leave a few enemies there, and then I'm going to hop forward here and kill these enemies as they spawn here because I know where they're at. And there's just brown spiders that are coming out of the left spawn, but I can't get to those. So if you had 2 people, that's where you could have someone send someone to the left and then have the other person jump forward and kill this spawn. And of course, Flame Revolver is probably the best for speed of killing spawns, even better than Wing Diver. So now I can't really, like I said, I couldn't get those brown spires. But if you could have those brown spires, what you could do is you could have that person stay up there on the left side and kill the next set of ants that are going to spawn, and then have someone on the right side kill the right golds, which is what I'm going to do. But still, you know, even if you're soloing this by yourself, like what I'm doing here, it's a lot faster than waiting in a location for everything to come to you. So now I'm just going to kill these enemies, and then I'm going to jump to the right side because that's the biggest threat, is the gold ants. So like I said, you could have 1 person. So if you had 2 people, you could have 1 person camp on the left side and kill the 2 spawns there, and then have this other person do what I was doing and jump forward, kill the silvers and fire, and then jump to the right and kill the golds here. And then last of all, there's going to be the last spawn, which is 3 spawns. So you'll have silvers on the right, you'll have golds on the front, and you'll have rolly balls and fire guides behind you. So therefore, what you would do is you would have the person on the left go to the right side instead, and then the person on the right. Well, actually, you could just keep the person on the right, just on the right, and then just have the person that was on the left side jump down here and kill the spawn up here. And then all you have to do is deal with the rolly balls, and then that's it. So it's a lot quicker that way. Of course, if you have 3 people, it's perfect because you can have, you know, a person camp on each of the spawns, and you never have to worry about it. Because the only time you have 3 spawns is at the very end, so that's where you'd spread out 3 people to get it correctly. But I'm just going to stay here because this is probably the easiest thing to get out of the way and get it done with. It makes it a lot easier for me. So stay here. Now the next spawn should be coming any second. And then I can just take him quickly out, take his leg out, he falls down, and then I kill the enemies that spawn on top of him pretty much. So yeah, then the person on the right side would have to deal with silvers up there. So, and honestly, it's not bad. Like I said, if you take the weapons that I recommend, the only thing, as far as if you're dealing with silvers, I think for Wing Diver, you're probably going to want the pulse machine gun because that'll stun lock them and kill them until they're dead. If you have Ranger, like I said, big volcanic napalm is probably the safest. If you shoot the right spot, the enemies will just be stun locked there. Otherwise, magma cannon would probably be the safest for Ranger if you're going to kill a big spawn. And then Air Raider, if you have your fire turrets, you can also just have your fire turrets ready at the spawn, and it'll stun lock them as well. So each class has its own ability to deal with a big spawn. It's just if you have a cosmonaut with it, on some of the spawns there's a cosmonaut with it, then that's where you're going to need probably a little bit more DPS. I mean, fire turrets may be fine with that if you have a depth car to help. Wing Diver would be tough because, I mean, you could try the Stardust Cannon, but the thing is, if he starts firing, that's where it gets really tough for Wing Diver. I think Wing Diver would probably struggle the most with the fire guy spawning on top of silvers. But I think she could still probably do it. And then of course Fencer is the easiest. So yeah, that's my in-depth breakdown of this mission. I think you'll find that this is probably one of the best ways to get your high-level weapons, especially like because it even this mission also. Let me lay out the weapon drops for each difficulty here. All right, for weapon levels here, Inferno drops 83 to 106. So unfortunately, you will not get the Hellflame Revolver on this mission, just barely off by 1. Then the hardest, you get 63 to 71, hard you get 28 to 35, and normal you get 16 to 22. So this mission will not, unfortunately, help you get between 71 and 80, or 72 and 82. However, so you'll have to use a different mission, unfortunately, to get those spread of weapons. But to get high-level weapons, you know, even campaign weapons, even like if you don't have the DLC, if you notice, you can still play with people that have the DLC as long as you don't host. You just won't get the weapon drops, but you can still get, you know, your weapons that are, you know, campaign level that are high level as well on this mission to farm. So, and in addition to the fact you get a lot of armor on this mission, which also helps. So yeah, that's my detailed breakdown. I hope this is helpful too. Like I said, I think you'll see people farming this mission quite a bit. So in addition for armor as well, but I do have a armor video as far as if you want to have a lot of armor. As far as looking for farming armor, I have a video that I made under the farming playlist that you can look for that is on DLC 1 that I think is actually a good farming mission for armor. So take a look at that as well if you're interested. But yeah, you get a lot of armor on this mission too, which is pretty nice. So yeah, I think I'm pretty much done here. I just hop around, get some of the items here, even though I didn't need to, I guess, because I was just making it for the video's sake. But hey, I mean, I'm not going to turn down weapons. So yeah, that was it. Hope you enjoyed it. So once again, thanks a lot for watching. And remember, EDF doesn't leave a man behind, ever. And if you're interested in ways to support the channel, please consider liking the video or watching a few ads, as it does help financially and it's very much appreciated. Thanks a lot. Hope to see you on the next video.